na lang yung gusto kong umuwi. Hello, welcome everyone. Sorry, talking to my Instagram account. But again, this is the second talk that I'm having for today, and I'm live here in YouTube. So thank you. This is Joe Solas for Think Smarter. And you could, again, find me online through my website. It's jobsolas.com. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook page. I have my website as well. Just, again, type Job Solas. Okay? Um, the real intent for me to really come up with an online channel is to provide more sensible discussions, but at the same time, I want it to be more fun and candid on how we discuss things, particularly online. Because everybody's like, I want it to be on top of the trend. I always wanted to campaign for a hashtag. But if you lack a certain business acumen, it does not convert. Like I mentioned, katulad ng sabi ko nga, no, you may have a lot of fans or followers online, pero at the end of the day, it tells you what have you accomplished. So if you don't have, I mean, for me, the best testament of your influence is for you to come up with a business model, be able to launch it. So that's why I really idolize and I commend those people who make use of online portal, not just for them to become famous, but be able to create an avenue and create opportunities for a lot of people. So just imagine Mark Zuckerberg, he doesn't need a celebrity status, but for what he was able to do and come up with the Facebook, now it has been a very powerful tool that even the presidents would be begging for access. Diba? Parang ganon. And then Twitter, of course, Instagram, and then other portals in e-commerce, just Amazon. There are a lot of things that we should be proving. Um, so therefore, I've been starting or have started my digital presence in 2009, just a simple like, create a Facebook page just for me to engage with my students because eventually I was a part-timer at that time in Central Escolar University and I was still connected with the Intercontinental Hotels Group handling the SEO. And definitely at that time, what I said is that because I'm so busy with my work, and that I only have specific dedicated time on weekends to accommodate teaching. And if there are any things that I may find very relatable and relevant to the courses that I'm handling, by the way, I teach major subjects in college, such as marketing management in that particular course, tourism, HRM, because my background in the professional field has always been about advertising and marketing. I've been handling critical global brands, particularly in tourism. So I've been part of the Intercontinental Hotels Group. I've been part of the Best Western Hotels. And in the Philippines, I handled the biggest brand for the Best Western Plus. And that is located in Makati Avenue. That is Best Western Plus Antel Hotel, formerly known as a venue. And then I launched a lot of projects there. Yung Hot Asia, which is still activating. Alam ko naapektuhan sila, pero you could see the Hot Asia, or yung parang bazaar, midnight bazaar, and that Makati Ave has been there for the longest time. That was one of my objectives and projects. Um, and then we started as well in Clark in 2017. Yeah, together with the Pampanga governor and the BCDACDC, together with the former president, GMA. So yung mga ganyan with my team, with my friends from the Pampanga, I miss them so much. And it's like I always wanted to know and make sure that all of these things that I'm doing is about coming up with projects. I make use of my online channel, my accounts to really, yeah, to really come up with a better solution. Ngayon. Okay. So, ano pa bang kailangan kong gawin? I am really trying as well to help a lot of my friends, particularly those who are really starting up, lalo na ngayon in business. Kasi during the pandemic, we are live, sandali lang, in Twitter, diba? Ako na mismo nagpo-promote on Twitter. Ganyan. So for the past few months and years, um, I always been very selective of how I really express my channels, my opinion as well online. So I've been part of the blog series together with my colleagues. I've been also been one of the faculties of the Certified Digital Marketing with IMAP, Internet Mobile Marketing Association of the Philippines. I've handled so many brands in terms of digital activation. And now it's pandemic. So my students could probably understand how devoted I am because during that time when everybody was like so selective of okay, this is how you do marketing, blah blah blah, so traditional. I came up and infused digital marketing in all of the modules. I always make and used to see to it that all of the curriculum, as long as I handle it, involves a lot of information. So I am going to discuss based on what I have promoted is about the digital marketing update 2021 in the Philippines because I know there's a lot of things going on all over the world. They're brilliant, but here in the Philippines, it's a different ballgame. We may always have the same platform, but we use it differently. We may be influenced by certain factors, but online in the Philippines, using the YouTube, we have a certain demographics, we have certain target market that we appeal to, and during the pandemic, we have been very observant on how people consume entertainment or information online, particularly in YouTube. So I've been a very fan, I'm a big fan of BL series, Boys Love series. So that's why I helped a lot of my friends who put a stake in this kind of initiative. Um, I helped out in a voice lockdown by Ticket to Me, especially during the time when they were still auditioning or casting for the people, the characters of the story. And then I've been also significantly involved in the Boy Band Love series. And because the producer is a good friend of mine, as much as I really wanted to do something about the story, about the acting and directing, it's beyond my control. Again, I don't want to be excused, but again, digital works. So probably even after like months, we gathered 50,000 subscribers. We were able to get a good number of views as well, and then it paved the way somehow to some of the characters and the celebrities. But I said, my last advice to the cast is that okay, the VL series is really a good avenue. It's a good theme, a, a point of entertainment when a lot of people are totally like so curious about going out and then probably discussing about inclusivity. So BL series has been a very instrumental tool. I hope it paved the way for your projects and other opportunities out there. So yun, now, like I mentioned to you, I created during the pandemic a barber shop, which is Cultura Barber. And the real intention for the Cultura Barber, which is located in here, yeah, this is the studio, which I'm also using. Um, the real intention there is like I wanted to pay homage to the these brilliant men who have been witnesses of and be able to provide service to the likes of Jose Rizal and Andres Bonifacio. And if I would be talking about the global perspective, such as probably Abraham Lincoln, everybody just took the service, avail of the service of a barber. And just imagine while they were being served by the barber, while trimming their hair, doing the haircuts. Just imagine the type of discussions. And these men, the barbers, are the only people who could hold a knife or a pair of scissors, diba? That could be very dangerous to themselves or to these very important people. And only the barbers were able and have the guts enough or allowed to access such dangerous stuff because they were trusted. And just imagine the discussions during that time when probably they're telling about so many things. Brilliant about expeditions, projects that they wanted to do and implement in their own country or probably in the company. So the barbers are very instrumental enough for very brilliant men to to understand the types of plans that they have. So that is something that I really appreciated. So that's why I came up with the Cultura Barber. And now I launched a series, it's called Cuentong Barbero, because I wanted to redefine the term, which is Cuentong Barbero. I think there's a deeper meaning about that. I wanted people to appreciate that once they say Cuentong Barbero, it has a significant part of the history that they wanted to go into the cultural expedition, or probably they wanted to backtrack certain events that happened in the past. So that's how I would want to redefine Cuentong Barbero through the Cultura Barber. And I thank the Bulacan Tourism through Dr. Ilseo, from the Office of Governor Bayan, um, yeah, to the Bulacan provincial province as well, for the whole people behind it. Because eventually I wanted to look into the details of all of our history, the landmarks, the historical significance, the products that we have through the Cultura Barber. So what I envision later on is for all of my branches to adapt the locality and the sense of community. So that's what Cultura Barber is for. Now, at least narinig niyo na, I'm the first one to announce it because eventually that's how I envision the brand. Since I've been doing all of the brand making for the past many years, this is about time for me to again come up with a brand that that's so personal to me because I love getting my haircut done. Um, Grooming is also important since I'm always in the public eye, not as a celebrity, but someone who defines what branding should be and how people should comply and eventually follow. So that later on, when you present the whole communication and the whole story about what the brand is all about, it really is very consistent and aligned. Okay, now, as I discussed, and as I pointed out, as digital marketing in the Philippines, we are an archipelago. So definitely, digital marketing is very important because it helps us to bridge the gap. There are a lot of things on how we could go through, uh, especially the challenge in logistics. But communication, particularly online, we're being ranked as one of the most engaged citizens online. And whenever people are going to say, okay, let's vote for this group, okay, we're definitely trending. And I guess the international community also appreciates on how Filipinos are very much engaged online. Okay, now it's already 2021, and people are looking at 2022 is a national election, and how are we going to become really important part of that? First and foremost, what I believe that we could really push through is is more on you know people to understand the essence why they are online. We wanted to become online simply because again we share the information. We wanted to become more appreciative of other efforts, but at the same time we document important events that is happening to our lives, to our society, and we're helping it, and now we're editing it. But I believe with this kind of flow, which is live, it also paved the way for people to understand you better. People would also be using this particular platform to get a lot of information, probably to tell more stories about it, to provide a summary. And this particular digital platforms will definitely be helpful of in providing a lot of information to a lot of people. Um, I really wanted to make and revive the tourism as much as possible, but as I've been discussing to my colleagues, coming also from a family of doctors, we already accepted the fact that tourism will take its different phase, PHACE, or probably phase as well, literally, because it will be gradual, it will be very more exclusive, it will also be more intimate. Um, Intimate doesn't mean that it has to be boring. Intimate would mean that it has to be more personal with the people who truly matters to us, to our network. Just imagine that every time that you wanted to leave a particular location, you always have to be tested with a rapid or swab. If the vaccine will be available, still it does not leave us behind the idea that you still have to be cautious and to get yourself protected. Because right now we're still dealing with COVID-19, but who knows? But of course, I'm still praying that there might be no more viruses that would provide the same impact or probably worse than this. And as some people are always like talking about so many things, I wanted to use my platform to inform people as well that if you are part of a certain industry, you have to commit to it, you have to become optimistic, but at the same time, you have to do something right at this moment. Yes, right at this moment, simply because you cannot just be left behind in a room and then wait for miracles to happen. You have to start moving, doing. I've been part of the five-star hotels, iconic hotels, and I'm so fortunate and blessed to become part of it. But I believe I'm also given the position to start something and develop a new model as well. We are in the Philippines. We are provided with such good resources, natural resources. So what we just have to do is come up with a good experience, define the location, define the historical and the cultural significance to our audience or guests. So eventually, what's next after the Cultura Barber is for me to come up with a new type of vacation or leisure or even like say corporate style. So I'm really banking on my connections as well in the tourism. I'm fortunate that I have known a lot of people who are very supportive, and we just really have just hang on there, because definitely what we wanted to do is to connect what is online and then do the conversion. So, what information? So, keep reading, keep watching the YouTube of the past, because how I wish would be back to normal. But while we are still dealing with the situation, we just really have to adopt and come up with a new business model on how the new procedures of implementing the IATF, the Interagency Task Force set by the national government, particularly defining tourism. So yes, I'll be appearing in Bounce Back. As mentioned, I think I'll be there. Teka, nasaan ba yung email ko? Yep, I'll present. Diba? I suggested my own title as well. So I want to thank Jason for allowing me to present. And this is for the practical coaching session. So sabi niya, Joff, I like the idea. Tourism bounce back is unique. Let's go for that. Okay. Sabi ko kasi the tourism bounce back. Kasi meron pa akong subtitle to. The subtitle is the silver lining of strict travel protocols. O, diba? Very Catriona Gray. Yeah, and I said, yeah, Jason, yes, just send me your desired format and schedule. Bring it on. Diba? Ganun ako eh. I just really wanted to become more present, and I'll be more active online. I'm coming up with all of my content, so that's why I started earlier, 8 p.m. in Facebook. I'll be doing more of the live stream. Again, I'm using a free account through StreamYard because I wanted to test the waters. $25 is okay. Kaya lang, again, I just wanted to become more practical, whether I really need a premium level. Kasi parang I need to become more active, at least para to really use it um, practically, di ba? So yeah, at least I'll try as much as possible to be online, do the live stream. As I get more topics, then I'll put more sense on it and discuss it with you in Facebook, and I'll also have a separate discussion in YouTube. So far, ayan, masipag pa naman ako, hindi pa naman ako napapagod. Again, I'm speaking in Filipino. For those who are probably watching me in other countries, again, I'm a Filipino, and definitely I might be speaking from time to time my own native tongue, which is Filipino or Tagalog. Now, the digital marketing in the Philippines is also complex because we are an archipelago. We're divided in three major islands. We have a lot of influences, so definitely once we deal with all of our communication pattern, with our visuals as well, it is something that would help us, diba? It's like I'm talking to the whole world, especially in the Philippines, just because of a lot of our um, roots are, if you look into our history, the Japanese, the Chinese, the Americans, the Spanish, and so many more. Even up to now, we have still accommodating a lot of foreigners, and we're so used to it. So again, um, digital marketing is simply about putting a lot of sense. You don't really have to. It's not a matter of you do a lot of content, but sometimes you really have to be very good in targeting, so that you could define your target market. So, nevertheless, again, thank you everyone. It is a nice evening. I hope that I was able to provide you more information about my country and for what we've been doing. It's just a couple of minutes that I have started broadcasting in YouTube. But if you have more information or you wanted to get more information from me, you could look and follow me across my social media accounts in blog, jobsolas.com, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and just search jobsolas.com. Okay? Thank you again. Happy Mondays.